As I mentioned earlier, I taught a seminar one day called The Secret of Money. I told everyone that they will have money if they are clear. If they are broke, they aren't clear. I told Dr. Hulen about it, and he agreed. Memories can keep money away, he said. If you are clear about money, you'll have it. The universe gives it if you will accept it. It is memories playing that keep it from you or you from seeing it. How do you get clear? Keep saying, I love you, he said. Do you say it to money? You can love money, but it's better to just say it to the divine. When you are at zero, you have zero limits, and even money can come to you. But when you are in memory, you will prevent it. There are many memories around money. As you clean them, they get cleaned for everyone. We went into a deli and ordered coffee. The place was quiet as we sat there, but slowly people streamed in and the place got busier and louder. The energy in the place grew. You noticed that? Dr. Hulen asked me. Well, there's a buzz to the place, I said. People seem happier. We came in and we brought our cleaner selves and the place is feeling it, he said. He told me about going into restaurants in Europe. They would be slow, but after he visited, business increased. He tried this in a few different places to see if the same thing happened. It did. He then went to a restaurant owner and said, if we come in and your business improves, will you give us a free meal? The owner agreed. Dr. Hulen would often get free meals from just being. I noticed that he gave money freely. We went into a little shop. He bought a few stained glass items for friends. He then slapped a $20 bill on the counter and said, and this is for you. The clerk looked surprised, and naturally so. He added, it's only money. Later, at a restaurant, I gave a large tip to the waitress. She stared, her eyes wide and her mouth dropping open. I couldn't accept this, she said. Yes, you can, I countered. Still, later, I got an idea for a product that I knew would make me a large amount of money. Dr. Hulen pointed out, the universe rewarded you for your generosity. You gave, so it gave back. It gave you that inspiration. Had you not given, it would not have given to you. Ah, and there was the real secret to money. We Americans forget that it says right on our money, in God we trust, said Dr. Hulen. We print it, but we don't believe it. At one point, Dr. Hulen asked me about the nutritional company I had founded with a physician and a nutritionist. We created it to market a cholesterol-lowering natural formula we call Cardio Secret, and you can learn about it at cardiosecret.com. Dr. Hulen had consulted with me a while back about the product name as well as the name of the company. He was curious to see where we went with it. It's on hold right now, I said. I hired an FDA attorney to review our website and our packaging, and we're waiting on him. But as a result of working on this product, I got an idea for an even more exciting product, something I call Fit-A-Rita. I went on to explain that Fit-A-Rita is a natural margarita mix. You can read about it at www.fitarita.com. I received the idea for it while out drinking with friends. I was in yet another bodybuilding fitness contest at that time, so having a margarita was a rare and special thing for me. While drinking one, I said, what we need is a bodybuilder's margarita. As soon as I said it, I knew it was a good idea. Good for you, Joseph, Dr. Hulen said. You weren't attached to the first product and wanting things to go your way, so the divine gave you a new money-making idea. Too many people lock on to an idea and try to force it to fit their expectations, and what they're doing is blocking the very wealth they want to receive. Good for you, Joseph. Good for you. He's right, of course. As long as I stay open to ideas from the divine, they keep coming. Besides the Fit-A-Rita product, I also received an idea for clearing mats. These are mats you place your food on to clean it and you before you dine. You can read about those at clearingmats.com. But I didn't stop there. Dr. Hulen received an idea, too. I've never seen a website that cleans people while they sit and look at it, he told me. Let's make our website for our book just that. When people go there, they are being cleaned by what we infuse in the site. We did just that, too. You can see it at zerolimits.info. There's no end to the amount of ideas you can receive and money you can receive once you let go of your need and allow it all to come to you. The key, as always, is to just keep cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. What should therapists do when they see clients, I asked, wanting to probe for specific methods in helping people to heal. Just love them, Dr. Hulen replied. But what if somebody comes to you because they were traumatized at some point and they aren't over it, I asked, wanting to back Dr. Hulen into a corner and force him to squeeze out some method I could do. All everyone wants is to be loved, he said. Isn't that what you want? It doesn't matter what you say or do as long as you love the person. So I could be a Jungian or a Freudian or a Reichian or anything else? It doesn't matter, he stressed. What matters is that you love the person because they are a part of you, and your loving them will help erase and clean and clear the program activated in their life. I wasn't settling for that answer, though I could see his point. But what if someone is certifiably crazy, I asked. I had a woman come to me who was considered schizophrenic, he began. I asked her to tell me her story. You have to understand that whatever she or anyone tells me isn't the real issue. Their story is their conscious interpretation of events. What's really happening is out of their awareness. But hearing the story is the starting place. Well, what did she say? She told me her story and I listened. I just kept repeating, I love you, in my mind, to the divine, trusting whatever needed to be cleaned would be cleaned. At one point, she told me her full name, which was one of those hyphenated names. Like Vitale Odin or some such? Exactly. I knew that was part of the problem. When someone has a split name, it creates a split personality. She needed to own her birth name. Did you ask her to legally change her name? She didn't have to go that far, he explained. By telling herself that her name was one word, she began to relax and feel whole again. But was it the name change or your saying I love you that made the difference for her? Who knows? But I want to know, I said. I started a Miracles Coaching program at miraclescoaching.com. I want to be sure my coaches say and do the right thing so they truly help people. Dr. Hulen went on to explain therapists think they are here to help people or save people. But in reality, their job is to heal themselves of the program they see in their patients. As those memories get canceled in the therapist, they get canceled in the patient. It doesn't matter what you or your coaches say or do, as long as they keep loving the person they are with, he explained again. Remember, the person you see is the mirror of you. What they experience is shared by you. Clean the shared program and you'll both get well. But how? I love you, he said. Well, I'm beginning to sense a theme here. I've been trying to figure out how the world works since I was old enough to read children's books and then comic books. Superman and the Flash were pretty easy to understand. Today I have to deal with science, religion, psychology, and philosophy, as well as my own mental wanderings. Just when I think I have a handle on things, along comes another book to disturb my view of the world. This time I was reading Consciousness Speaks by Balsekar when I started to get a headache. If I had to sum up its message in words from a man confused by reading the book, I'd say that nothing we do comes from free will. It's all being prompted through us. We think we are the conscious actors. We're wrong. That's our egos talking. In some respect, we're puppets, with the divine as the energy in us pulling our strings. Now imagine this. I'm the guy who wrote the book, The Attractor Factor. It explains a 5-step process for having, doing, or being anything you want. I and others have used the method to attract everything from wealth to cars to spouses to health to jobs to, well, you name it. It's all about declaring your intention and then acting on what comes your way or bubbles up from within to make it manifest. In short, you're the puppeteer and the world is your puppet. So, how do I fit these two apparently conflicting philosophies in my head without going bonkers? I think it works like this. First, we are living in a belief-driven world. Whatever you believe will work. It'll get you through the day at any rate. It will frame your experiences into perceptions that make sense to you. And when something comes your way that doesn't seem to match your worldview belief system, you'll find a way to rationalize it and force it to fit. Or you'll take Valium. Second, I can't help but wonder if both philosophies are right. We're the puppet and the puppeteer. But that only works when we get out of our own way. It's our minds that drive us to drink, overeat, frolic, steal, lie, and even spend too much time worrying about how the world works. Our minds get in the way of the natural flow of things. Our minds know it's doomed and it can't stand the thought of it, so it constructs feel-good addictions to help it survive. In reality, whatever that is, your mind is the interference to experiencing the bliss of this moment. If this is so, then all the techniques to get clear, which I talk about as step 3 in my book, The Attractor Factor, are there to help you take the interference out of the divine plan. For example, when you use a method like EFT, the tapping your troubles away approach to life, you dissolve the issues troubling you. But then what happens? Then you take a positive action. Well, weren't you going to take that positive action anyway? Isn't that why you knew there was a problem to begin with? In other words, the nudge to take action was sent to you from the divine, and your anxiety over it was the interference. Take away the interference, and you're back to being one with the divine, which means you're puppet and puppeteer again. So let me try to sum up what at least makes sense to me today. You came into this world with a gift within yourself. You may know it right away or not. You may not even know it right now. At some point, you'll sense it within you. Now, your mind is going to judge it. If your mind judges it as bad, you'll seek therapy or methods or drugs or addictions to handle it, hide it, resolve it, release it, or accept it. But once you have removed that interference preventing you from acting on your gift, you'll act on that gift. In short, you'll be the puppet of the divine, but you'll be the puppeteer of your life. Your choice is to go with the flow or not. That's free will. Some call it free won't because your real decision is to act on the impulse or not. Even the great showman and marketeer P.T. Barnum, who I wrote about in my book, There's a Customer Born Every Minute, knew this. He took action. He did things on a grand scale, but he was always obeying some higher order. His gravestone marker reads, "Not my will, but thine be done." He acted on his ideas without interference from his mind, and he allowed the results to be what they were, trusting that it was all part of the universe's bigger picture. He was able to let go while taking action. And that's step 5 in my book, The Attractor Factor. Tonight I have the world figured out, I think. Tomorrow I'm not so sure. I long for those comic books once again. Everyone has a gift, Dr. Hulen told me on one of our walks. What about Tiger Woods? I asked, knowing the answer but wanting to lead to a deeper question. He's playing his role in the divine play. But what about when he starts to teach others how to play golf? He'll never succeed, Dr. Hulen said. His role is playing golf, not teaching golf. That's someone else's role. We each have our part. Even a janitor? Yes. There are janitors and garbage collectors who love their work, Dr. Hulen said. You don't think so because you are imagining playing their roles. But they can't play your role either. I suddenly remembered a line from an old self-improvement course. If God told you what to do, you do it and be happy. Well, what you are doing is what God wants you to do. The point is not to resist your role. I might long to be a songwriter like Michelle Malone, or an actor like James Caan, or a bodybuilder like Frank Zane, or a writer like Jack London. I might even get pretty good at writing songs, acting, working out, or writing novels. But my role is inspirator. I write books to awaken people. To be exact, to awaken me. As I awaken me, I awaken you. Ho'oponopono. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. If you haven't heard of it, brace yourself, because it's the most powerful, the most transformational, the most magical, the most miraculous technique I've ever come across. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. I've written 80 books. I've recorded 15 albums. I have 200 some products. I have a coaching program, certification programs, but nothing ever has had the impact in my life as Ho'oponopono has. I've been teaching it to other people since around 2005. There is great depth to it, though it's very simple. On the very superficial level, there's really only 4 phrases, and you're kind of saying them as a quiet prayer or petition. But there's so much more to it than that. And what I really want you to do is check it out. I want you to check it out for you, your family, your friends, and ultimately for the world. It's that powerful. And as I like to say, expect miracles.